All right, everyone. So welcome. It's your girl, Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And I am here with Kate, you all. Look, another part of the world, and she's going to introduce herself as well. But of course, you know what we're talking about, right? If you don't, shame on you. Shame on you. You know what we're talking about. We're talking about menopause and not just the symptoms that's out. We're talking about menopause as a whole, as it affects millions of women all around the world. We're talking about surgical menopause, medical menopause, and if you got there naturally. I didn't get there naturally, right? And you like, I've heard her story before. Guess what? News alert. You're going to keep hearing it. I was thrown into menopause at the age of 30. So you heard me right. 30 years old, I had surgical menopause. And you may be wondering, well, what is that? Well, I had a complete hysterectomy, the removal of my ovaries, fallopian tubes, a uterus, cervix, all of it snatched right on out of me. Not literally, y'all, but I felt like it was snatched out from me with no guidance, no support, pamphlets, no one to talk to. And no one that I said, who's going to relate to me? I didn't have that. And so that's why we're here today. And I just want to get a couple of things out the way. September 16th and 17th, go ahead and mark your calendars. My thing is this, if it's not on the calendar, it does not exist. And I don't know if that's brain fog or is that with my age at 42. I don't know. But all I'm saying is if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist in my life. September 16th, 17th, MenoCon. Yes. And this is the ultimate menopause and women's wellness conference for, the everyday woman, right? So we're not coming in with a bunch of big science words and all of the science lab equipment and all of these things. We're just coming to educate you, empower you, and encourage you that, look, don't be afraid of menopause. It can be hard work and it can be hard at times, but don't be afraid of it because eventually you will get there. And so, Kate, welcome. And thank you for saying yes.
My favorite word. my second favorite word is no, which is a fabulous menopausal skill, I find.
Look, I agree with you. I like the word no too. When babies were younger, they're smaller, and a lot of times people are like, first words are no. I said we should have just encouraged them. Yes, keep saying that because it wouldn't be so hard. Yeah. Because there's a lot of adults where no is hard and they are like, let me explain myself after I said no. Well, I said no because, and me, I'm just like, no. And
were you always that way, or did you refine your skills when you went into menopause?
No, I really always had a very strong spirit of no.
If I didn't want
from birth, like I came out, no. No. Yeah, I've always had a really strong no, that my no means no and my yes means yes. Yeah, I've just always been that way. So Kate, tell everyone who you are, what you're doing in the world, and all those amazing things.
Well, I'm Kate, and I'm a menopause mentor. I'm a writer and also an artist and a podcaster. Ooh. And my book, Second Spring, The Self-Care Guide to Menopause, will be out in, as we're recording this, in a week's time on February 17th.
Congratulations.
I thank you.
Congratulations. Wow, that is amazing. And I wish I had that. Look, Kate, I wish I had that book like almost 12 years ago. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And essentially it's a book that gives you a toolkit, a self-care guide that will help you to find your own path through perimenopause and menopause and into second spring, which is what I call postmenopause, because as you know, there's no one size fits all route. So this is very much about looking at what the fear of menopause is about, which what I observe is the sort of cultural toxicity around femaleness and particularly around older women.
Yeah.
And it's, in the last 6 months, people have really started talking about it more here in the UK. And that's a wonderful thing. And I also hear the fear levels come with it too, because most messages about menopause are about illness or about symptoms, about things going wrong, and it makes people frightened.
It does. It does.
And that makes our symptoms worse.
It does.
And what can happen if we can go under the fear or around it or through it,
right?
There are so many lessons to be learned. There is so much goodness to be found. And you are just so lucky that you came out saying no. That's just like such a gift. It took me 50 years to acquire those skills, and it was menopause that really took me into that place of discernment when I could clearly feel what was right and what was not.
Wow. Kate, that is good. That is really good. So you said like a lot of amazing things. So let's just unpack the fear part, right? And this is why sometimes I'm like, menopause is definitely more than just those symptoms. It's more than the symptoms, right? And when we think of it as a whole and the different aspects of it that it can have on someone's life, it's definitely more than a hot flash, right? Hot flashes come and go, right? they literally come and go. But what I did notice for myself, I had to pay attention to when there was an onset of a hot flash. And then I started realizing certain triggers and certain things, certain atmospheres, certain people, and different things. And I'm like, right, when I'm in this atmosphere, it seems as though I'm having more hot flashes. But when I'm here and mentally I have relaxed myself, and I love what you said, finding your pathway. Let's go ahead and put this disclaimer out there right now. Nothing that we're saying is giving you medical diagnosis or medical information per se, that we're giving you information to say, hey, this is law, this is what it is. These are our experiences. Some of it is educational, of course, but always seek your medical professional, whether that's your general practitioner, your therapist, all of those things, because now more women are saying they're experiencing anxiety. So I don't know for you, what are some of the things that, and you said you wasn't able to say no for 50 years. I think menopause and stuff makes women more fearless. It gives a more of a I don't care type of attitude to say, look, I no shame here. My no is my no. So what really took you so long to even just say my no is my no?
I think that the socialization for women particularly to please, that were constantly feel that we're not enough, and it's kind of in the culture, and it's often very unclear. It's like, I have to try harder, or I have, look at any piece of marketing and it will be built on generating fear. The 7 signs of aging. Oh shit, what are the 7 signs of aging? Oh, do I have this?
Do I have it?
Whereas, it's in the culture, it's in the water all the time, and we're left to feel that we could be doing something differently, we could be doing something more, and this creates this kind of background level of anxiety about being caught out, about being found wanting, and it's across everything in work. Who is very often women are working part-time, because very often we take care of the childcare as well, the bulk of the childcare, right? And who is working in the evenings after the kids go to bed, because for no money, who's catching up?
Yeah.
Instead of saying no.
Like, and I've had experience where, yes, I've always had just a no. Like, if I didn't want to do it, like, you just couldn't make me or make me even feel bad for not doing something. If I said no, I said no. But you're right, even in your households and different things, I believe in boundaries, right? And so we have to create some type of boundaries where if I didn't feel like cooking, I'm not cooking today. Look, you're still gonna eat. I'm just not cooking. so but we're still going to eat. I'm not cooking. And that didn't mean going buying fast food or anything like that. It just meant find something that you're able to prepare, or someone else can cook, right? And so, but I think if we be silent and we don't communicate those things, and we just go through the motions of keep doing them, then people sometimes unconsciously and consciously have an expectation, right? So there's a certain expectation. I do believe in the workplace. There's a certain expectation at home. There's a certain expectation on social media. There's a certain expectation that people have. And it's just like, well, if I disappointed you with that, you will be all right. Right. And so I love that you said that even that line of fear and then just saying no. And so for yourself, did you get to or go through menopause naturally, or what's your journey?
I was quite late having kids. So like 30, I had my second kid when I was 40. So I was postnatal and perimenopausal at the same time. And they're both places where we're in between, you know, we're sort of coming from woman to mother, we're changing identities. And perimenopause is very much a time when I was wondering, well, who the hell was I? What do I want to do? This isn't working. What's going on? So it was a whole messy heap of... You're like,
I don't even have the word for it, but it's...
You know what I'm talking about, right? There was a lot of, you know, because, you know, sleep deprivation on all levels and depletion on all levels. So that was really the beginning of my perimenopause. And I was kind of scrabbling to catch up with my career after that, because we'd moved. We didn't have family living by, or really much support to look after the kids apart from my partner and myself. So I was doing exactly what I was talking about earlier. You know, I was doing the childcare, and then the kids go to bed, and then I work, and, you know, sitting by the side of after school clubs, writing blogs, and, you know, just like social media, 9 o'clock, scheduling away, you know, all that kind of thing. And essentially I burnt myself out.
Wow.
Because perimenopause is a time for reflection. It's an autumnal time. And if you think about the autumn, then you're much more about coming inside and letting go, you know, taking nature as it's such a great example. It's about letting your true colors show and releasing and letting go of old roles. So at the same time as my psyche and the universe was calling me to let go, I was clinging on with white knuckles.
Like, no, that's Kate, that's when you were saying no, and when you should have been saying yes, and it's like, no.
Right or wrong.
Totally the opposite. But how many women are out there trying to hold on and carry everything, right? Just carry everything. And these transitions in life, they already carry some heavy hard work and different things, and just the transitions of the mental, of the body, of the spirit, of the soul. All of these things are family dynamics and different things, because menopause can affect it. Just not, I don't believe it's just affecting us. It can affect those around us as well. And until we're really clear on what the heck is going on with us, right? Everyone else is looking like, what the heck is going on with her too? Because it's...
Yeah, well, it does affect everybody, because you know, for people listening, your mother might be in menopause, or your boss, or your sister, or your librarian, or the person who looks after your kids, or your co-worker, or, you know, and the distress that happens when we're not able to talk clearly about it. You know, if you had a cold, you'd say, oh, I have a cold. And that's why I can't concentrate so well today. So I'm going to go home early, have a rest, and then I'll do this in the morning.
Right.
But somehow that conversation isn't as clear with perimenopause, you know, because of the shame, because of the fear, you know. But it's much more kind of suspect in a workplace if you see someone who's struggling and they're they're saying, no, I'm fine. I'm really fine. I'm really fine. I'm really fine, you know.
Really,
no, you're not fine. You were very wrong, but it generates sort of suspicion and confusion and a lack of communication.
And that's the part right there, the lack of communication, because so many times, you know what, people don't ask. They don't ask anything, right? That everyday hustle, hey, how you doing? All right. But hey, how you doing? And we're still walking, right? That type of thing. So most people are not even really paying attention. And like you said, with the shame and not wanting to feel like all eyes are on you, or not even feeling like, okay, are they going to start calling me an old lady? Like, what are they going to start saying? And all of these different things that's playing in the back of your mind. I know for myself, I speak up. It's not a secret at my job or my place of employment that I am a menopausal woman. There's no secret about it, because if I'm sitting there, you may not see the sweat dripping down my back, but if it's dripping all down my forehead and everything, why do I need to sit there and suffer? Let me just go get me some water. Let me go cool off, because this is just a moment, right? Now, I don't have control over how many moments it's going to be. However, it might be one moment that night. It may be 3, but whatever that looks like, just allow me to dismiss myself and get myself together so that I can continue to be productive. But how can some people even be productive when you're just ashamed to even say, hey, I just need to step out for a moment? Because you don't want someone to make a big deal. Why do you need to step out? Golly, she goes to the bathroom quite often, and then you come back in and people are looking at you like, but it's not often that people really take the time to really even pay attention per se. And some people may not even know what those signs may look like or anything. And so you went through this journey. How long were you in perimenopause? Because a lot of people have such a misconception of the stages, and they're just like, oh, I'm done. I'm in postmenopausal. I'm a postmenopausal woman. And then when you're like, so you don't have your menstrual cycle anymore now? Oh, it's just I haven't had it in 3 months. Well, you're not postmenopausal.
Yeah. Well, as I said, because I was postnatal and then perimenopausal, I'm not very sure, because I think those 2 states that they there's sleep deprivation, my periods were interrupted, right. So there's a lot of difficulty. But I reckon I had my last period, you see, and the combination of brain fog and not really caring anymore because it's so, I think I had my last, I'm 57. No, I'm 50. I don't even know how old I am. I think I'm 56 now. I'm 57 this year. And I think I had my last period around 50 or 51.
Oh, wow.
So that would be around 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. And
but,
so
I had small kids, right?
Right. Right. They kept you busy, kept you on your toes too. So once you're in this transition, you've journeyed through this. What made you start saying, or were your blogs always about menopause, or what made you say, let me dive into this?
All right. Yeah, it was the thank you. Actually, that's a wonderful question, because I think it's almost universal. The reason that I started to investigate was because I didn't know where I was. And there's this, I'm sure you see it in your clients, there's this sense of being lost, this sense of our compass points, of our map having disappeared on a soul level. There's this thing about, well, then who am I? The things that got us juicy and excited and interested us suddenly go, oh, but we can't kind of relate to them.
Yeah.
So I had been a body worker I've been a therapist for nearly 30 years now, and I've been a body worker for a long time and a psychotherapist, and I started to learn to work with the belly and the womb, and to connect with my own femininity,
right? Which
was something that had been really kind of like, well, it doesn't look that great being a woman, to be honest. I'm really not sure about that stuff. Oh. So there was, I had a whole journey around finding my own way to feel comfortable in my own femininity, in the way that I created it, I feel it. And that was through body work and through touch and meditation, and really sitting with these chewy, difficult things about, well, if that's what femininity and female is presented in the outside world in that particular way, and I cannot relate to that, then how do I do it?
Right. Wow. That's amazing. That brings us right to where we want to be at. What you just dive a little more into the work that you do, because there may be someone listening is like, you know what, I need to work with her. I need to get on her books. I need a Kate in my life. All right. And so just give us a few tips or tools that women can even say, hey, I am feeling lost. I do feel alone. I'm not one with my femininity. I'm not one with my body. Heck, they may even be saying, Kate, I don't even like my body or anything. And I'm feeling confused. I'm not even near perimenopause yet, but I'm still feeling a little confused. So what can they do if they're in menopause or not? Just doing that work with what you're doing in the world.
Well, there's a really simple tool that you can use, and it's looking at the seasons. So if you take the time from your first period, that would be spring. Okay. And if you think about spring, it's about exploring and looking outside. So it's becoming more expansive. And that continues into summer and your 30s. And you would really think about wanting to have babies sometimes, or wanting to have a career, or wanting to see change in the world. Or if you're an activist, wanting to make you really have this power from your heart to make stuff change.
Yes.
And then as you come more into perimenopause, it's an autumnal time, and you're going to want more space to yourself. You're going to be expressing your feelings, and you're going to be sensitive. So you're going to be telling people to go away, finding your no. You're going to be telling them why very clearly.
Very clearly.
And you're going to be feeling the pain. So when people come into this place, and we've been used to doing all the kind of summary out there things, and that doesn't work for us anymore.
Right.
So what I would want people to know is that that's okay. If you have absolute permission to step back and give yourself space, and that there's nothing wrong with you, you're not broken, you don't need fixing. This is a natural thing that needs to happen.
Wow. That is just beautiful, right? I'm glad I'm not in spring though, right? I'm in another spring.
Well, I think what happens is that we come through a winter where we can really go deep, and it's a real time for healing.
Yes.
Really deep wintry healing. And then there is a second spring, and that's why my book Second Spring is called Second Spring, because there's this post-menopausal time when we can really reconnect with that joy of life, and that the possibilities of expanding, and falling down on our face and getting lost and doing unsuitable things, because we're in a time of trying stuff out.
Yes. Like just that. And I love that, because even that analogy and like metaphorically that you've given us, that can be for any woman at any stage of their life, because we've all have, and you know what, and until we're not here, we're all still going to have winters, right? We're going to be faced with a challenge. We're going to be faced with the obstacle. We're going to be faced with a new level of opportunity and different things that causes us to reflect. And someone may hurt our feelings. It causes us to dive deeper into ourselves. But when we do that, when we're in that winter and we do that, like you said, that post-spring, it is another spring, because you come out like a whole new butterfly of a different mindset, a different perspective of yourself, of people, of life, and then a lot of times you don't even react to the same situations the way that you did before that first time that it happened. And so I just think metaphorically that is amazing. So Kate, make sure you give us the name of the book one more time, you all. February 17th, it is coming out. Is it going to be on Amazon?
It is, yeah. You can pre-order now. It's on Amazon. It's all over the place. You can go get it. It's Second Spring, the Self-Care Guide to Menopause. And the whole seasonal thing is included in there. And there's a whole massive, great toolkit of audio for you to use. It's really it gives you all the stuff you need to go and, you know, find your own path and find your way. And that it's useful whether you take HRT or not, you still have this opportunity to really heal.
That is amazing. So you all, look, you can pre-order now, right? And that is amazing. We need more tools in our toolbox to say, look, we don't have to suffer. We don't have to be in silence. And this is why we're doing this. So women know you have options, you have resources, you have people that you can actually talk to, right? You can join their programs or whatever that looks like, but they're here to serve and support. That's why we do what we do, because you know what? When we was going through it, we didn't have these tools. Like I said earlier, I had pamphlets, Kate. I had a lot of pamphlets, and I had Google, and I was diagnosing myself and trying to figure things out and doing my own research. And so, ladies, finding your own menopath, finding your own path from the first period to the last period, right? That's how I like to equate the first one to the last one, finding your path and really staying in touch of who you really truly are and learning how to say no, right? If you don't take anything from this, make sure you go to Amazon and get Kate's book, but then develop that strong fortitude and spirit of no. It is
actually, there's a chapter in the book that has some tips for people who find it hard.
Look,
easy ways to learn to say no with grace.
I love it, right? Because we don't have to say no nasty. I don't say no nasty. I say no. And I say it with a smile, right?
Yeah.
No, thank you. No.
My favorite was taught to me by a friend, and she says, on this occasion, I have to say no.
So you all heard it today. You can use this now. This is what this is about. Taking away an action tool that you can use. So on this occasion, I'm going to have to say no. I want you all to practice that, because some of you are saying yes so much that, like Kate said, she was burnt out. You're saying yes to things that don't align with your vision and your mission and different things. You're saying yes to people that you probably should say no to, but you don't have to fear anymore. Just say, like Kate said, on this occasion, I have to say no.
Yeah, and on this occasion, I have to say goodbye because I have another meeting.
Yes. So you all,
yes, I do.
Kate, what is the best way that people can connect with you?
You can find me at katecodrington.co.uk, and I'm on Instagram at Kate_Codrington. It would be great.
So you all, make sure you connect with Kate. She's getting ready to hop on a meeting. I'm getting ready to hop on another call as well. Look, this is what menopausal women do. We get stuff done. Okay. So Kate, thank you for saying yes. You all, make sure you go to Amazon and get the book for yourself or even someone else. Until the next time, remember, when you change your perspective, you change your life. Talk to you all soon.